Good afternoon, everyone. So, my name is Victor Caraballo Anderson, and I serve the role of Head of Schools at LHS. I want to give everyone just a warm welcome to our distinguished guests that are in attendance for this important and special event. To my left, we have Superintendent Paris, the Mayor of the City of Lawrence, the Honorable Brian DePena, School Board Member Jonathan Guzman, City Council President Mark LaPlante, Chief of Police Mas Bass, LAE Board Member Pat Mariano, and Veteran Affairs and Director Jamie Melendez, current Airport Manager and former Director of Veteran Affairs Francisco Ureña, and our guest of honor, Major Velez. We will begin with a presentation of our colors by the Lawrence High School Campus JOTC Color Guard. So at this time, I would like everyone to stand. Color Guard, post your colors.
Precinct, arm.
Please remain standing and join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please continue to remain standing for the playing of the national anthem. You may be seated. Our special guest today embodies all of our Portrait of a Graduate competencies. What it means to plan and persist, to collaborate, to master life skills, to innovate, to communicate well with others. And what he's doing today, he's exemplifying what it means to stay connected to one's community and to empower and give back. Now, we would like to invite City Council President Mark LaPlante for a few remarks on behalf of the City of Lawrence.
Good afternoon, and on behalf of the 9 men and women who make up the Lawrence City Council, and Mayor Brian A. DePena, I want to welcome our special guest here this afternoon, highlighted, of course, by Commanding Sergeant Major Velez. We do appreciate, we look forward to his comments today for all of us. I want to also thank those who are currently in military active duty, those who are here that might be veterans for their service. And I do see some members of the J. ROTC group that are already wearing the uniform, and I don't know what your future holds, but if it does involve military service, we look forward to supporting you, and we thank you in advance for the service you may be doing. So on behalf of the city, we welcome all of you, and thank you so much for your service to our great, great country. Thank you.
Thank you, Council President, for those remarks. Now, to formally introduce our special guest, I would like to invite Veteran Affairs Director Jamie Melendez, as well as our very own Principal of 9GA, Melissa Melendez, to the podium.
I just want to say, don't believe what they say, please.
Thank you, Ms. Carvalho. I appreciate the kind words and appreciate you bringing this and putting it all together and having this mighty fine Lawrence High School students present to witness the beauty of my cousin. Ain't she beautiful? I love her to death. No, look, seriously, we all grew up together. We all grew up here in the city of Lawrence on these mighty fine streets, and there's so many stories that we could tell you about my friend, cousin, and beloved soldier, Frankie Velez, Command Sergeant Major, United States Army. The pinnacle of service to our nation in the enlisted ranks. For those of you that don't understand what pinnacle means, that's the top. But with that said, it is my privilege to have him here with us, along with my cousin and the rest of you, to welcome him back to the city of Lawrence. I want to start with going backwards and starting from the beginning, before he joined the service. We didn't know. We were worried because he decided to go to the Vogue. But it turned out all right. It's not too bad. He turned out okay, huh? But we still love him. Sergeant Major Velez is the Joint Force Headquarters National Capital Region Senior Enlisted Advisor. For those of you that don't understand what that means, let's give the Army Band another hand of applause, or a round of applause. Good job, and thank you for being here. They do work worldwide, all right? And if you haven't heard of them, Google them. It's amazing what they do. He also is in charge of not only them, but also our honor guard at the Capitol, and they do amazing tribute ceremonies and work in the Capitol and around the world. So the job that he has and what he does right now is amazing, but it is his career that really amazes me as a soldier. He's led many soldiers in combat. He's brought many home. I'm sure, as we all have, we lost a few, but his service to this country is without equal in my eyes. And so it is my honor to have him here with us. And I'm going to let my cousin speak a little bit about Frankie.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. It is a privilege, honor, blessing that I'm able to do this and share this moment with you guys. We also have my cousin Carmen is here with her husband to enjoy this moment with us. So we knew a long time ago that CSM Velez was going to end up in the Army somehow, because I can't tell you how many times I stepped on those little plastic Army green soldiers. They were everywhere in our house. And I don't think he would have ever imagined me in the position I am now. Fair to say that, I will name that. And nor did I think he was gonna end up in this position as well. I'll be honest, I had to look up what Command Sergeant Major was, because I didn't understand that it was such a high rank. So we are going to dive into his actual career, but thank you, especially 9th grade, for sharing this moment with me.
Thank you. Thank you. Again, look, I'm not going to go over the whole bio. I'm going to tell you this. Frankie Velez is the epitome of what it means to serve your country. He's done it through his own blood, sweat, and tears. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you all his story. I'm gonna let him talk for himself. He's a wealth of experience. He's one of us, right here from Lawrence. And it is my honor and my privilege to invite Command Sergeant Major Franklin Velez to the podium.
All right, if you haven't figured it out, she's my cousin. He's her cousin. All right, so we're related. And then I got my sister and her husband right here. So it's great, you know, to be here. So first, a disclaimer up front. There's going to be part of this event where a soldier will come out here and tell you to stand. Do not stand. She will tell you to stand, and you're going to get scared enough to stand, but do not stand. All right? Hey, so the only way I'm trying to think how I can relate to this younger generation. You know, as I try to put things together, like, hey, what do I want to say to this generation? I have 32 years. At 33, I will retire. That's 33 years of my adult life in the military. Gone so many places, done so many things. But the thing that is important for you is I started here in Lawrence. Okay? Lawrence, left here in 1990, graduated in 1988, left here in 1990. And it was a long journey to get to where I'm at. But it was a quick, in my mind, you would think 33 years is a long time. But in my time, in the military, that is actually, it comes by that quick. And the whole point of this is, hey, you can do anything you want to do. All right? So just keep that in mind as you look around and go, hey, what am I trying to figure out what I want to do for life? Hey, you're freshmen right now. It's going to take a hot minute for you to figure it out. You might not figure it out even until after you graduate. But at the end of the day, hey, you can do anything. Trust me when I tell you anything. My cousin, she's done a fabulous job from what, if you can hear her story, you'd be amazed. You hear Jamie's story, again, amazed. All right? So the folks that I'm going to bring out here, they're a little bit younger than I am. They got about maybe a year or two, maybe 3 years in the Army, maybe. But they're going to go ahead and do some actions to show you what they do for the military. And again, it'll look very, very hard. But at the end of the day, they started where you were at, and they worked their way where they're at now. Does everybody understand that? All right, so the first person I'm going to bring up, and I really don't want to sit there and talk about myself, because these kids have the more amazing story than I do. All right, so the first person I'm going to bring up, I'm going to talk about her first, and then I'm going to bring her up. She is the first female Latin tomb guard of the, sentinel at the tomb of the unknown soldier. All right, if you don't know what that is, Google that right now, and you'll see what it is. She has the highest, when I say the highest, honor of our nation. She stands watch in Washington, D.C. at the tomb of the unknown soldier every single day, guarding that tomb. And again, that is the highest honor. We have 3 unknowns at that location at this time. That is the highest honor. Not only that, she joined the Army to be a cook, a chef. She made it. She's a cook, she's a chef. But she had the great opportunity to be invited to go ahead and try out for this important job. And she did. She made it. She comes from Kissimmee, Florida, Dominican from Kissimmee, Florida, and she's friggin' outstanding. Again, she's gonna come out and tell you to stand. Do not stand. Just sit there. So I'm gonna present to you Sergeant Torres, Sentinel at the tomb of the unknown soldier.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? I am Sergeant Torres of the 3rd Infantry Regiment, United States Army, Guard of Honor, Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. The ceremony that you are about to witness is the changing of the guard. In keeping with the dignity of this ceremony, it is requested that everyone remain silent and standing. Thank you.
All right, let's give her a round of applause. All right, so now she's going to break character, and she's going to go ahead and talk to you all. Look, I don't know what just happened. What happened? What's everybody freaking out about? That, I can't say that. Okay, but you did. All right. So the whole point of this is, again, you can do whatever you want. All right, just keep that in mind.
How's everybody doing? Good, that's awesome. Well, my name is Camille Torres. I'm a sergeant in the Army. I've been in about for 6 years now. I'll give you a little bit of my background, okay? So I'm Dominican, Puerto Rican. Who's Dominican? Oh, okay. Who's Puerto Rican? Okay. I like that. All right, so my mom is 100% Dominican, so I grew up in that culture. So throughout life, I did not realize I wanted to go to the military. It wasn't a first choice. I'm a very impulsive person, so I tend to, if I have the opportunity right there in front of me, I'm gonna take it. Like, it's a good and a bad thing, right? So throughout high school, I had the vision to just go to college and just do that college lifestyle. And then funny that a month before graduation, so graduation as a senior is May, maybe first week of June. And April, I was like, you know what? They're having ASVAB tests being taken in the cafeteria, so I'm just gonna go. I ended up taking the ASVAB test, got a decent score, and I was like, maybe if I see what my options are, maybe it'll be better than college, right? So I ended up going to the recruiting office, and they were like, oh, well, we have a lot of options for you, jobs open, and and then they mentioned cook. When you think about being a cook in the Army, it's not like the best, best talked about job, but honestly, my vision was, if I can become a chef, a professional chef with like a infused Dominican food, Puerto Rican food, who knows how to cook over here? Hey, okay, youngsters, I love that, okay. Hey, our moms teaches us best, okay, so I understand. So I ended up wanting to, I had a passion for cooking in, Dominican style, Puerto Rican style, so I was like, okay, you know what, let me just join, have the opportunity given to me about being a chef and going to professional schools in the cooking field and see where that can take me, right? So when I first went to school, AIT school, my first duty station was gonna be Korea. I was gonna be sent to Korea. So I was like, you know what, maybe I'll see it's overseas. I've never been out of the country, like when it comes to, the other side. I've been to the Dominican Republic, but never like to Korea. So, so then right before I was gonna graduate AIT, they were like, hey, who wants to go to the Old Guard? I think, we're having interviews right now, so they had a recruiter for the Old Guard, which is the unit that I'm in right now. And I took the shot, took the interview. They said I was a good fit. I qualified for the requirements. And and I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna be a cook, I might as well go to the most prestigious base ever, because the Old Guard is a very highly watched base, if that makes sense. We're right next to the White House. It's just very highly, I don't know how to explain it.
Highly visible.
Yeah, highly visible. Very good word. Yep. So now, once I got to the Old Guard, I had the ability to cook at the DFAC for about 2 years, and then we had culinary competitions and all that stuff. They let me use or infuse the food with some of my Dominican tastes, Puerto Rican tastes, and then go from there. I had an NCO that we have in the Old Guard. We have the drill team, the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, and we have Continental Gullah Guard. We have a lot of other platoons, specialty platoons there. So I had an NCO, which is the sergeant, that was at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. He was my NCO at the DFAC as well. He was a cook as well. He was like, hey, Torres, you should come down. And I was like, you know what? Maybe next cycle I should give it a try. And the next thing you know, I going through the cycle, past CDY, it was so difficult. Just because of the fact that you have to sacrifice your time. We work, our days are not, it does not go by Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It goes by day 1, day 2, day 3. You can imagine how easy it is to get lost by the days. Is today Monday? No, it's Thursday. It's Thursday. You see what I mean? Like, no, as an example. I knew today was Thursday, but as an example. But, and it's just the greatest honor that I had, like that I was able to be a part of such a platoon. Because at the time, I had one female NCO, which is the first female sergeant of the guard, and I was if I passed training, I would have been the 6th female. So the badge was, this badge right here, was issued in 1958, the first badge, right? And since 1958 till 2022, I am the 6th female that has completed the badge check, so, yeah. And the first Latina, so if any of you Latinas want to go over there and join the tomb, then by all means. I feel like one advice I could give that really holds dear to my heart is network is your net worth. Communicate. Get yourself surrounded by people that are where you want to be, right? You want to get yourself surrounded by people that you like, hey, that's my goal, you know? Because when you surround yourself with people that like that, you'll get very far in life. You know, and don't be intimidated by other people or by people that are above you, because at the end of the day, they might look at you and be like, oh, I don't know. I'm big and bad, right? I'm big and bad. They don't know you. They might think that you're in uniform and they'll be like, oh my God, like that's really her, you know? But at the end of the day, you know, now that I'm here, I'm the only female in the platoon right now with 25 guys, so. But you know, it's all amazing. It's an amazing trip, or not a trip, amazing experience, and I'm just super grateful. So just make sure that you know what you want to do in life, and you'll succeed. Nice to meet y'all.
Hey, she'll be available later on for some questions and so forth. Again, there's so many things you can do in the Army, you can do in the military period. But at the end of the day, she took a challenge and she's doing an outstanding job. Again, if you Google it, YouTube, Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, and watch what they do, I'm telling you, you will be amazed. The next individual I'm going to bring up, another individual that has a very unique story. Before I bring him up, he's part of the color guard team, the Continental Color Guard team. So if you watch the NFL for the Super Bowl and they have the military come out and they're holding the flags, that's him. He's probably done one or two of those since he's been here. I think he'll mention what the highlight of what event he did to let you know, like, hey, I was standing out there at that point in time. But his story is, grew up in Mexico and moved to the United States. And from there, you would say, well, that's not exciting at all. But the part is, he did not speak English. Okay? He did not speak English. So, but he's gone through the trials and tribulations that right now, when he comes out here and talks to you and lets you know what he's doing now, and then he's going to ask you to go ahead and look him up, so that way it can help other individuals that have the desire, the wants, but just don't think that they can do it because there's a barrier that's in between them. So I'm going to go ahead and bring out Sergeant Ortiz from the Continental Color Guard.
Buenas tardes. Yo les voy a hablar en español. Bueno, primero que nada, como el Sargento Mayor Velez comentó, ¿quién de aquí tiene TikTok? Levanten su mano. Levanten su mano, manténganla levantada, por favor. ¿Quién de aquí sabe quién es el Ortiz? Ok, perfecto. Solamente para decirles, después de esta plática voy a estar respondiendo preguntas en un grupo más pequeño, por si quieren que les responda algo. Pero primero les voy a decir quién soy. Mi nombre es Eduardo Ortiz. Nací y crecí en Michoacán, México. Y cuando tenía 17 años pensé, y se me llegó la oportunidad de venirme para acá, para Estados Unidos. Entonces dije, ¿por qué no? Vine para acá sin saber inglés, absolutamente nada. Lo único que sabía era, hello, how are you? I'm Jose and I'm from Mexico. That was it. No sabía nada más. Entonces, cuando llegué aquí, yo estuve en... ¿Hay alguien que esté aquí de esta clase que esté en ESL? ¿O al menos tiene esa clase? ¿No? Es una clase que ayuda a las personas a aprender un poquito más inglés. Entonces yo estaba en esa clase, yo no sabía absolutamente nada, por así decirlo, de inglés. Y me vine para acá, empecé a aprender el idioma. Al año de estar aquí en Estados Unidos, decidí tomar la decisión de entrar al ejército. Porque es algo que yo siempre he querido hacer desde niño. Entonces, a los 17 años entré. Y cabe destacar que entré con la tarjeta verde, la Green Card. Es lo único que tú necesitas para entrar. Tu Green Card y tener tu ASVAB score y todo lo demás. Y ya con eso el ejército te puede dar la ciudadanía. Entonces yo entré teniendo la Green Card. Una vez que entré, el ejército me dio el proceso y me ayudó con el proceso para poder ser ciudadano. Ahora, una vez que entré, quedé seleccionado para la Guardia de Honor. Y llegué a la Guardia de Honor en 2019, y decidí hacer algo mejor, hacer algo más grande, así que intenté entrar a la escolta de Estados Unidos y quedé en mi primer intento. Entonces, como dijo el sargento mayor Velez, he estado en Las Vegas, Colorado, Los Ángeles, Nueva York, ahora estoy aquí en Boston, y la verdad es algo que nunca hubiera imaginado, porque si yo voy al pasado y yo voy a mi high school de regreso, imagínense que yo puedo regresar al pasado, regreso a mi high school y le cuento al Ortiz de 17 años que yo voy a estar haciendo todo esto, jamás me lo creería. Entonces ese es el mensaje que yo le quiero dar a todos ustedes. Yo sé que suena difícil de imaginar, pero créanme que si ustedes tienen la iniciativa de entrar al ejército y ustedes quieren cumplir eso, háganlo, no se van a arrepentir. Porque es una oportunidad grandísima que la verdad no mucha gente quiere tomar, no mucha gente quiere aprovechar, pero a mí me ayudó bastante, y si no hubiera sido por el ejército ahorita, pues estaría haciendo diferentes cosas. Entonces, ¿cuántos de aquí quieren entrar al ejército? ¿Cuántos de aquí lo han pensado? Yo siento que todas las manos por allá deberían estar levantadas. Ok, perfecto. Métanse y experiméntenlo por ustedes mismos. No se necesitan quedar 20 años, no necesitan hacer su carrera completa, simplemente inténtenlo. De verdad, les aseguro que si hacen su carrera y si hacen su contrato bien, van a salir siendo mejores personas que cuando entraron. Entonces, la verdad es algo que yo les recomiendo mucho. Si tienen su celular a la mano, ahorita lo pueden sacar y busquen el Ortiz a las personas que no me conocen para que sepan más o menos quién soy. En mis redes sociales yo me encargo de ayudar a las personas que no saben inglés a responderles un poquito de preguntitas y un poquito de dudas para que así puedan entrar y resolver sus dudas. Entonces, ahorita después de esta plática voy a tener una plática con un grupo más pequeño por si tienen alguna duda yo podérsela responder. Muchas gracias por dejarme hablar aquí con ustedes y ahorita los veo en un rato. Una cosa más, se me olvidaba una cosita más. Cuando yo llegué aquí a la Guardia de Honor, lo que más me llamó la atención es el drill team de los Estados Unidos. Era lo que yo quería hacer. Mi sargento de pelotón me recomendó para entrar a la escolta, entonces fue lo que terminé haciendo. Pero déjenme les presento y déjenme les introduzco al drill team de los Estados Unidos. Así que si van a tomar alguna foto, solo asegúrense de no poner el flash. Okay? This is the United States Drill Team.
right, as the Army band takes their positions, hey, those two soldiers are there. Their mom is extremely proud of them. Those are actually two brothers. All right? The shorter one's the older one, obviously, and the younger one is the tall one. But that is a team right there. Their mom and dad must be extremely proud of them. Again, two soldiers that came into the Army, hey, what do I want to do? I don't know. But again, they learned these skills. Train hard, and that's where they're at right now. And it's pretty amazing. Right now, I'm going to introduce you to the United States Army Band. Now, anybody here play an instrument? Raise your hand. Anybody sing, play an instrument, or anything like that? All right. Hey, you can do the same thing. Just keep that in mind, that we have performers in the Army. The United States Army Field Band, and then the United States Army Band. They have singers, they have people that play instruments. It is phenomenal. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to the Army Band.
Major said, we are part of the United States Army Band Pershing Zone from Washington, D.C. I'm Sergeant Major Graham Breedlove. I'm originally from Lafayette, Louisiana. And this is a group we call Swamp Romp. So me and a person who has since retired founded this group about 25 years ago. We both grew up around New Orleans. And so we try and bring everybody down to New Orleans without ever leaving the safety of your own seat right here in the hall. So real quickly, I'll tell you a little bit about our group. The United States Army Band Pershing Zone is the Army's premier musical ensemble. We have about 250 men and women in our organization. We were founded in 1922 by General John J. Pershing after he came back from World War I and saw what a great effect music could have on the citizens, the soldiers, and the whole community. And so that was his idea behind founding our organization 100 years ago. We are part of the Army Band called the Army Blues. It's an 18-piece jazz ensemble, and that group just celebrated its 50 years in existence. So this is a big landmark year for us in our building. To get into this organization, we do a national search. So we publish a job opening in industry publications all across the music business. We go to colleges and universities across the country and tell people about the opening. And in a minute, I'm going to introduce everybody in the band. You'll see what I mean when I tell you that these people are really from all across the country. So, on the trombone, you heard from Valrico, Florida. This is Sergeant First Class Luke Brimhall. From Miami, Florida, Master Sergeant Xavier Perez, tenor saxophone. From Stafford, Virginia, on the baritone saxophone, Sergeant First Class Dustin Mott. On the bass, from Orem, Utah, Master Sergeant Reagan Bruff. And as far as today goes, the two most important people up here, from Longmeadow, Massachusetts, on the drums, that's Staff Sergeant Eric Harris. And helping us out as our lead audio engineer, our sound man, running all these microphones and speakers and making us sound good. He is born and raised in Methuen, Massachusetts. That's Sergeant Major Scott Reinhardt. All right, so we communicate best through music, so we got one more for you. This is from the 80s classic rock band Rush, and this is entitled Tom Sawyer. from Germantown, Maryland, Sergeant First Class Michael Kramer. You can follow us on social media at U.S. Army Band. Look us up. We'd love to hear from you.
All right, so as we close this up, one more round of applause for the band and for all the soldiers that participated here today. Hey, don't let them scare you, okay? If you play an instrument, you can try out for these folks. They're professionals, by all the words, professional. Trust me when I tell you, they do all kinds of genre for music, so just keep in mind they do everything. So again, thanks guys, I appreciate it. Hey, we're gonna close this up. Usually, for the folks that are usually sleeping when I'm talking, that's about 20 push-ups, but we're gonna go ahead and spare that for you today. But I wanna thank Lawrence High School for putting this together. I do appreciate it. I didn't go to this school, I went to another school, but at the end of the day, I am extremely excited, extremely proud of what Lawrence has done for the community, how the community has changed from when I was here at that time to what this school has become. Lawrence High, when I was here, was in the middle of town. Now it's moved out here because it's gotten massive and it's outstanding. And I appreciate all the educators here. Thank you for what you're doing. For everybody here, for the students, hey, stay in school, all right? You're like, oh, that's a simple thing. No, stay in school. Get educated. We really need educated folks out there, so I do appreciate it. So again, stay in school. You have no idea what you want to do right now. That's okay. It's going to take you a little bit of time to figure out what you want to do in life. That's all right. But again, we have a lot of things that we offer. Just keep that in mind. And again, thank you. Thank you for everybody here. I appreciate it. Principal, what's the title? Head of School. Thank you. I really do appreciate for entertaining us, letting us be here to take some of these kids' time. Thank you, everybody. Have a good day.